Okay, so as announced, this layer A, the first and general layer, is going to be the core of this master class, designing contract management function and developing the strategy. So we will talk about what is contract management, what is needed. We will talk about designing the function, when to design the function, and what is implying this designing task. The importance of the governance framework, defining the governance, defining the contract management team, which is a typical composition of a team, and the operational framework. The operational framework, and the king of the operational framework is the very contract. But there are a number of additional tools that we will describe. So the fundamental question is what is contract management really? No? And here you have a definition from the Manual of South Africa. It's one of the sources that we use. We use the South Africa PPP manual, the PPP manual, the PPP guide, contract management guide of Australia, and also it is quite good element, the contract management guidance provided by the European Union through the EPEC, the European PPP Expertise Center. Another source is the CP3P guide. The chapters 7 and 8 are covering contract management with quite detail. But we like this definition. Contract management is the process we like to add our set of processes, no? But let's say process that enables both parties to meet their obligations. So it's not just to being helpful to be sure that the private party is managing properly their obligations, but also our own obligations as a government. Okay, the process that enables both parties to meet their obligations, to enable the objectives set out in the contract to be achieved. So the idea is do whatever we need to do to help the project to meet the objectives. And there is one idea when talking about contract management that I like, that comes from Spain. I mean, in Spain, traditionally, PPPs and concessions have been described from a legal point of view as indirect management. So this idea of delegation. The project is our project, but we are delegating a number of tasks, the core of the task, the essential tasks: design, build, finance, operate, and maintain. So is a manner, according to a Spanish tradition, and a PPP is a manner for the government to manage the infrastructure, but it's indirect by means of delegation. That means that what can be done by the government to still be in control of the project, to manage the project. So manage the project is manage the contract, because it's indirect concept. Okay, what is the ultimate goal? Okay, we are talking about enable both parties to meet their obligations, so to protect the objectives. So in the end, protect the objectives is to protect the cost benefit, is to be able to realize for the society the benefits expected when we selected the project at the cost that was expected. So we realize the cost-benefit equation. When we are dealing with a PPP, what we are trying to control is that the value for money being added by the PPP contract is going to be a real thing, that is going to be as cost-effective as we expected, ensuring at all times affordability. Okay, so in the end, the goal is maximize value for money, but always protecting affordability, the impact in the public finance. So for that, we facilitate that the obligations of the contract are fulfilled. But we need to adapt and react to changes and threats. A lot of them are coming, no? Risk that eventuates, contract changes, stakeholder disruptions. All of this with sufficient fluidity. So we need to minimize disputes, to minimize the impact of threats, and manage effectively all of them. When we talk about contract management, we talk about, of course, monitoring the performance and managing the performance, but we also talk about managing risks and threats. So here we have three areas: changes, claims, and disputes. Okay, it's one of the three main elements of active or material activities in contract management, together with performance monitoring. But also, at any time, we are managing information. We need to manage information, documents, communication, and stakeholders. Okay, what is needed? There is a need for attitudes. There is a need for an attitude of partnership rather than adversarial, no? And we need an attitude of project management culture. We need to import or apply project management skills and methodologies to the contract management, because again, still is our project. We need resources, of course. Remember, I mean, the size of the task is quite much bigger than what people think, and we need to plan those resources. We need, above all, a sound contract that builds in itself a minimum number of tools and mechanisms to protect the life of the project, especially for contract changes. We will discuss about that later. But we need also other tools beyond the contract, particularly the manual. Okay, let's talk about designing the function. When should I design the function? When should I assess what I need and things about how I'm going to fulfill my needs of resources and so on, in preparation on appraisal phase? I mean, the minimum is when we are structuring, because contract management needs, particularly changes, particularly risks, it has to be embedded into the contract to be properly managed. But also we need to identify costs, resources in appraisal. We need to plan these resources, okay? We need to plan what do we need in terms of money, in terms of funds, to meet what do we need in terms of human resources. We need to assemble an efficient management operation with a number of tools and methodologies coming from or starting from appropriate governance. We need to define tools, a number of tools. Which tools? The contract, a contract manual. We will discuss about what is the contract manual later on, and a number of additional tools like the financial model, the management information system,